Hi everyone and welcome to today's episode. In this podcast, we are diving into one of the most exciting innovations shaping in the future of gaming. Haptic feedback in virtual reality. If you've ever wondered how players can feel things inside a virtual world, from the recoil of a gun to impact of an explosion, then this episode is for you. So let's get started. Haptic feedback basically means technology that uses touch sensations, things like vibration, force, pressure or texture, to recreate real physical feelings. In VR gaming, haptics helps players feel actions happening inside the virtual environment, instead of just seeing and hearing the game. Players actually experience it through their sense of touch. For example, imagine pulling a virtual bowstring and actually feeling the tension, or getting hit in a VR shooter and physically sensing the impact on your chest or your arm. These sensations make the game far more realistic and immersive. VR stops being something you look at and becomes something you truly experience. I selected this topic because haptic feedback is now one of the most powerful developments in gaming technology. Visuals and sounds can only take immersion so far, but when you add physical sensation, the entire gameplay experience changes. It becomes more emotional, more believable, and much more engaging. I also choose to present this as a podcast because spoken explanation makes it easier to describe how these technologies work and why they matter. And honestly, haptic is a topic that sounds amazing when you hear it brought to life through storytelling. So how does all this actually work? Haptic feedback systems rely on components like actuators, motors, sensors, and vibration modules. When something happens in the game, say your character touches an object, fires a weapon, or gets hit, the VR software sends a signal to your haptic device. That device then responds instantly by generating a specific sensation. There are different types of haptic feedback: vibrotactile feedback, fast vibration to simulate impacts of surface textures; force feedback adds resistance or tension, like feeling the pull of bowstring or the weight of an object. Electrotactile feedback uses tiny electrical pulses to create detailed sensation like textures. Biomechanical sensors track your movements and adjust the feedback to match what you are doing. When all these systems work together, the sensations you feel match the virtual world almost perfectly. Now let's look at some real-world applications. One of the most popular devices is the haptic tag suit. This is a full-body vest used in games like Pavlov and Contractors that lets players feel bullet impacts and explosions. You can literally feel where you are getting shot from. The Wave Index controllers are another great example. They use pressure sensors and finger tracking to simulate natural hand movement. So when you pick up or squeeze something in VR, the sensation feels real. Sony's PSVR 2 headset even has haptic motors built directly into the headset to simulate effects like head movement, wind, or falling debris. And the Meta Quest 3 controllers deliver higher resolution haptic sensations, making actions like hitting a target or touching an object feel sharper and more realistic. These examples show that haptic technology is already becoming mainstream, not just a future idea. The biggest advantage is immersion. When you can feel something, you connect emotionally with the game. It feels like you are actually inside the world. Another benefit is accuracy. Haptic exposures help players react faster and make better decisions. Studios show reaction times improve by up to 40% when haptics is used. Haptics also improve training simulations in areas like medicine, engineering, aviation, and military. For example, medical students using haptic gloves in VR simulations show around 45% better skill transfer compared to using visual-only VR. So it's not just fun, it's also useful and educational. Of course, it's not perfect. High-quality haptic suits and gloves can be expensive. Some devices are heavy or uncomfortable. If you wear them for a long time, battery life can be short, and sometimes they can be latent, meaning the sensation arrives slightly late, which breaks immersion. From a development side, game creators need extra time and money to design advanced haptic interactions. There are also ethical concerns. For example, should VR simulate pain? Should players feel very strong impacts? These questions are still being debated. Advanced haptic systems collect data like hand movement, muscle tension, and real reaction speed. This raises privacy concerns because biometric data is extremely sensitive. Another issue is physical safety. If impact sensations are too strong or too realistic, players could experience discomfort or emotional stress. So while haptic VR is exciting, developers must ensure that it remains safe, responsible, and accessible to everyone. The future of haptic VR is incredibly exciting. Researchers are working on haptic skin, thin flexible layers you wear like clothing that can simulate pressure, heat, cold, and texture. AI will soon be able to generate haptic sensations automatically, making virtual worlds feel even more natural. The global VR haptics industry is expected to grow to around $5-6 billion by 2030 as the technological becomes cheaper and more advanced. We will see haptics used not just in gaming but in education, therapy, fitness, training, and remote communication. Imagine shaking hands with someone in VR and actually feeling it, or feeling the texture or virtual objects. That's the direction we are heading. So that brings us to the end of today's episode. Haptic feedback in VR gaming isn't just a future, it's a revolution. It transforms how we play, how we learn, and how we interact with digital worlds. And as the technology continues to evolve, VR will become more physical, more immersive, and more connected to our real senses than ever before. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of haptic VR.